Hiya fishy folks, and welcome back to Michael's Fish Room. Today's video, a day in the life, Saturday, which is cleanup day. Grab a healthy snack and beverage and stand by. Alright fishy folks, I've been doing this day in the life series now for, I don't know, a month or so, showing you different days of owning a business and having a fish room, and today is cleanup day. Now, obviously it's a working fish room, so it's not going to be pristine. It's not even going to be as clean as a local fish store. It's as clean as I need it to be to get my job done and make sure, you know, there's no dead fish stinking up the place. So I'm going to go over what I do and talk about some of the procedures I do, and I just want to preface this whole conversation with, this is what I do, Michael from Michael's Fish Room, and this is what works for me. If it doesn't work for you or something else works for you, that's fine. I get it. It's no big deal. Alright, so Saturdays, first thing I like to do is I organize and clean up the workbench, which is always a disaster. I try to sweep the floor and clean and organize any buckets I need to. And if there's anything, if I've done any tank maintenance and I have filters to clean, or you know, I move stuff around, I have extra stuff, I try to put that away in its home. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of show you what the fish room looks like, and then I'll probably do some fast motion stuff for you, and then we'll come back and talk about cleaning the nets, which is a very important thing, especially if you have multiple tanks. Alright, here we go. Alright fishy folks, let's just take a look at the fish room. You can see my workbench. We'll go over that in a minute. I added a bucket for my insulation that I ship with. There is water on the floor. I've already fixed that. You can see there's water on top of this filter, which isn't even working. I unplugged it a couple days ago. But this water line was up here and I didn't realize it. So water was hitting that, not going in a tank, and then going all over the floor. So yeah. There's just a light for filming video, so the light looks better. Let's talk about the workbench for a second. So we'll start over here. We have my Artemia blender, or Zis brine shrimp hatchery. This was sent to me by Corey and Lizzie from Aquarium Co-op for me to try. I do really like it. There's quite a few videos already on it, so I won't be doing a video on it in detail, but I do use it. This is a little LED desk light I got from Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below if you need something for your brine shrimp. They hatch better in light. You can see it's 3 levels. Boom. I was like 10 bucks. It's a great deal, actually. A couple things I want to do for the workbench is I want to put shelves up here. I also want to move this and my plug here, but you know, that's planning for the winter. The problem is this insulation on the wall I want to leave, but that kind of makes it more difficult to hang stuff. I also will be redoing the water system to the point of just moving stuff around. I'll be getting a new thermal valve, because that one doesn't go as cool as I want it to. The water comes out a little warm for what I like, but I'm going to redo that. I may redo all the water lines. I'm not really sure yet. I know I'm going to redo where the valves are up there, the solenoids, and make it a little bit more neater, but that's the winter, especially when my armor's better. All right, so let's talk about the workbench. You know, filming equipment, I have, you know, a $300 lens there that's just sitting there. That makes me mad at myself. Got the thermometer, 75 degrees, 78% humidity in the fish room. It's a little warm for a fat guy. All right, so we have this water pump I'm going to be doing a video on that'll come out probably November 7th. I think that's where I have it slated for. I have this package that was sent to me by somebody on Facebook. Snabies and More. She sells snail food. This is snail food that's also can be used for plecos. So I'm going to try it for plecos. Maybe we'll do that today. I know she has a Facebook group. I don't really know her. I don't know anything about this really. We talked on Facebook. She sent some to me on the advice of Keith from KGE Aquatics. He suggested she sent it to me for me to try, because I will do an honest review and it will help her business, especially if it's good. Here's some packaging. This came from that box. We'll go over in a second. I save it. I reuse it. Brine shrimp eggs. But I save it and I reuse it for, you know, when I ship fish. I have, I don't know, right now I think I have 21 boxes to ship on Monday. So it's going to be a busy day Monday morning. This is from Aquarium Co-op. I bought some brine shrimp eggs. I bought some Fritz aquarium salt, which I use for the brine shrimp hatchery. So I got to put that stuff away. And then what else is in there? Oh, a Frontosia sticker. That's nice. You know, just stuff. It's got to get organized. Really no big deal. Got some buckets here. So like those caves, I got to sanitize and then I'll put them in a tank. The nets we're going to sanitize today. I'm going to sweep up the floor. I did a extra large water change on the super red, longfin super red pleco tank. You can see these guys are growing out. There's one on the wood right there. Quick update on the wholesale order. Everything is doing well. I do believe I am going to keep them for 1 extra week. Oh look, brine shrimp, that's gross. I do believe I'm going to keep them for 1 extra week. I did have a couple, you can see some dead bodies in there, that's kind of gross. And so I did have some in there, and I did have one in here 2 days ago, so I think I'm going to keep them for an extra week just to make sure everybody's good. See, the water's a little cloudy. Probably from a bacterial bloom, so we'll do some extra water changes just to make sure we don't jack up the cycle. All right, folks, I'm gonna get cleaning. I'll show you that in a minute. Stand by. I should be more careful with my lenses. I really should. I invest in the company, the business. I should be more careful. Show you what I did. All right, fishy folks, swept the floor, got the workbench organized enough to pack boxes on Monday morning. Spilled some salt, so you saw I added that to the mutt guppy tank. Got to figure out what to do with the kelp way first, because you know, I'll just walk over here. I'll show you. This is like this area down here. I had planned to put 3 20-gallon tanks, but the sump pump for the whole house is back there. And I want to be able to get to it if there's a problem, so I haven't put tanks in. Now here's something that I try to do every day, but this tank looks like it's low on water. And so I'm like, that's weird. So I look and I can see the drain it's well beneath the drain, but I don't see a water line. So I must have snagged that water line for something else. So I'm gonna go through, look at the water lines, fix that one. You also may notice I did do a manual water change here. You can see there's one that passed away. So I'm going to hold these off for at least another week in quarantine to make sure. It looks like there's 2 that died. Sorry about that, but that's just a fact of life. Look at these real red-eye albinos. They are stunning. Stunning! Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go through. I'm going to look at my airlines, my water lines, see if there's anything I need to do. I'm going to look at filters. Like here's a sponge filter from Aquarium Co-op. You can see it's bubbling quite nice, so I don't need to clean it. Normally I would clean this glass. That's a lie. I will never clean the glass because the fish like this stuff. They eat the algae off it. So, all right, back to cleaning. It's hot down here. I'm a little warm. All right, let's take a look at this. What is this? It's just an extra filter that I put up there, and that's just the Airline, so I don't need to worry about that. Yeah. I gotta take this filter down because I don't need it anymore. I just cleaned some mold off the bottom. So I'll do that. Then I'll show you how I sanitize my nets and what my process is. Let's take a look at the flower horn. I'm keeping it. So I gotta figure out, I wanna get a 75 tank for him. Just gotta figure out, can I put the 75 tank right here and still get to the back there and still have enough room in the fish room to walk around? It's either that or I have no clue, actually. So if you have an idea where I could fit a 75 in this space, I mean, I suppose I could take up half the workbench, I guess. It's an 8-foot bench. I mean, I could probably, I don't know. All right. I made brine shrimp. You know, got the brine shrimp going for tomorrow. This will be done about 24 to 36 hours. Should be done, so maybe tomorrow night I'll feed brine shrimp. Move that light down a little bit. Yeah, that's what we do. All right, be right back. All right, fishy folks, I'm done sort of cleaning and sweeping and organizing. I fixed the water back there. There was a water line that it was black, and it moved over to the next tank, and I couldn't see it because I'm blind. I did some water changes back there using the hose for the tanks that didn't have a water line going to it, and the blue Moscows that had a couple of dead fish. So now I'm ready to do my net maintenance. Now, what is net maintenance? Well, every week I bleach my nets, and then I redo the water. So I keep my nets in water with net soak. I got this net soak from my buddy Keith at KGE Aquatics. Check out KGE Aquatics on Facebook, and if you talk to Keith, tell him you saw me talk about him in my video. I get a kick out of that. But I learned about net soak in a video I did, a fish store tour. I think I was in Michigan, and it was the Blue Fish, I think it was called, and the manager there did a tour with us. He was spectacular, and they used net soak, and he explained to me what it was. And so essentially it's methylene blue. I think that's kind of what it is based on the ingredients and some other stuff. And you add some to the water, and it helps kill parasites that are in the waters. It helps keep the nets cleaner. Now, is it the end all? No, but it does help keep it cleaner. So what I do is I take my bucket of nets and I add a little bleach. That's right, folks, straight bleach. Now, this is splashless bleach because it's all I could find in the grocery store. Get this. I haven't been able to find non-splashless bleach in the grocery store for months. I was in Lowe's the other day and I'm like, oh look, they have bleach. It was cheaper than the grocery store and it was regular bleach. So I bought some, but I gotta use this up first. So I just put the bleach in there, I kind of mix it around a little bit, and then I let them sit for a little while. And then I will clean the bucket out, I will clean those guys out, and I will let them air dry. Okay, so I'll dump the bucket, I'll clean the bucket, make sure there's no bleach residue. I clean all the nets in fresh, clean water, and then I let them air dry. Okay, and then I'll show you what I do, so stand by. All right, fishy folks, so I told you about net soak, told you about where I got it, told you about, you know, where to buy it. And now I simply have a new bucket. I always use a different bucket. I clean the other bucket out, I let it air dry. Bleach in small quantities for nets is really no big deal, I don't think, at least. But if you want to be careful, you'd have to wash that out really good, then dry it, you know, then maybe wash it out again. Doesn't really bother me, I just let it dry and I'm good. So I have about 2.5 gallons of water in this bucket. It takes a tablespoon for each gallon. I'm going to use actually 2 or 3 capfuls. That's what I do. Always wash off the capful in the thing. And that's it. And I leave that for a week. Unless I see a problem. If I see a problem in a tank and I know I've used that net before, then I immediately go through the sanitize process. Now, if you only have one tank, you probably don't have to do this. You can wash your net after every use. I typically wash the nets after I get an order in, a wholesale order, or an order from you know, somewhere else. Like if I buy from a local breeder and they ship me fish, and I use the plop and drop into the big net, I'll sanitize that net just by itself, just a little bleach water, let it air dry. One other thing I do in the fish room, not weekly, but I probably should do it weekly, is I have a carbon monoxide detector, which is right here, because I have that ventless natural gas heater. I also have another one of these on the furnace, which they installed when I got the new furnace last year, but I test it. Want to make sure it works. What's the point of having it if it doesn't work? There, it works. And I try to do it once a month. Honestly, I probably don't do it once a month, but it's a good thing to test. Whether you have one in the fish room or the rest of the house, carbon monoxide detector, smoke detectors, all those things, you should test them. That's my PSA from Michael's Fish Room for today. Well, folks, that's pretty much a day in the life of a Saturday in Michael's Fish Room. Occasionally I do projects down here, but with my arm all jacked up, there's no projects. I've been thinking about the tanks, switching the tanks up there. I've been planning my new water system. The other thing that I may or may not do is redo the airlines, but that's a big, PETA, because I have all the drops already drilled. So when I first did it, I just drilled a bunch of holes, put a bunch of drops in, and figured, I'll just use the airline to make up for the space. That's me thinking inside. But it's messy, and I kind of want to make it a little neater. So we'll see if I redo that. I may just secure the lines better, but we got some work to do. Typically, I take off the last week or two of the year because I work for a Japanese company, and they're usually closed as well. So, plus the American company, almost nothing gets done for the last 2 weeks of the year, at least in my part of the company. So I usually take that time off. That's where I try to plan my projects. Doesn't always work, but that's what I will try to do. So enough of me babbling. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Any comments, questions, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to support the channel but don't like guppies, buy a shirt. Support the channel. Show your support out in the open. Now that I have 35,000 subscribers, thank you so much. I have seen shirts like at shows, and I think it's very humbling for me to see somebody spend 20 bucks on a dumb t-shirt that says Michael's Fish Room. I'm fine. Cough cough, I'm fine. It's not too soon anymore. I am fine, except for my arm jacked up. All right, I'm babbling. Have a great day, folks. I use what's called net soap, which I don't have here, so this is dumb. So it helps keeps your nets